Welcome to my little corner in the internet. I'm Nadine. I'm traveling with my dog Marjorie, and I welcome you wholeheartedly to Everyday Alchemy, where I walk the 12-week path of Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. Journey with me through the mess and magic of life itself. This is week 3, recovering a sense of power.
I don't have a tripod, so I'm gonna just talk like this, and I know it's not the best setup, but we are in week 4, so I'm gonna recap week 3 for my future self and everyone who wants to listen. Week 3, recovering a sense of power. Now, the thing with week 3 is that it was probably one of the worst weeks I had in ages. So I did work through the program, and I don't know if it's the program or if it's just my life that's crumbling down into pieces. But it was one of the most challenging ones where I felt the most despair and sorrow and was wallowing in self pity, I guess. And in a way, recovering a sense of power coming out of that week is pretty much what it ended up to be. So I'm quite surprised. I'm doing this video already on day 2 of week 4. So I'm a little bit late because we, meaning the people that live here, and we did a 3 days silence and soup fasting. So yesterday was the last day of silence. So today I speak again, and that is why I film this today. So it really was at the end of this silence when we were gathering around in the kitchen and we're just talking, and I was able to open up and relate to my dear friends everything that had been boiling up during the whole week and during the silence, that I now wake up today and after a long walk realize that I actually recovered a sense of power. So I'm quite surprised, and I think my smile shows it, that this week did turn out the way it was supposed to be, because it didn't feel at all like that. What I wanted to share is what I did in my artist state this week is I got this stone and I made a little bundle to have it around my neck. So I love that artist state too. And what I wanted to share are a few pillars of this week that are sectioned like that in the book as well. So she has anger in there and describes how nurturing that could be. And what I take away from that is her quote of, anger is not the action itself, it is action's invitation. We were talking about synchronicity, which is something that I kind of gave up on because I felt like there wasn't a lot of synchronicity going on, but I still like that quote, which is, possibility is far more frightening than impossibility. Freedom is far more terrifying than any prison, which I can subscribe to, because I was eyeing with going back to a 9 to 5 office job just for the sake of it, because I felt so weak and I felt so exhausted with constantly battling all those things in the outside world that keep coming up. And I just wanted a quiet life and sort of stump out that fire or that ember that still was within me. And well, it was self-pity, I guess, and it was very necessary too, because what she also announces in this chapter is growth, and growth has a lot to do with just babying yourself. She says, as a creative being, you will be more productive when coaxed than when bullied. So I guess the whole week of pitying myself and wallowing in self-pity and feeling sorry for myself and feeling exhausted was kind of like necessary babying for myself, right? And The other two things she talks about is shame and criticism. I didn't experience that as much. I think the first time around when I did that program, I really was trying to work through those two more than the others. So they didn't really apply to me that much. But what really helped me was something else that I did this week, which is not only the exercises in the book and morning pages, but especially a quote that I found, or quote, it's a story. It comes from Instagram, from an account called at Chikawazi. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I will put it down there as well in the description box. I think she was very inspiring, and I read this one, I think, every day since I found it, because it really offers me a sense of shelter, and it soothes me, and it gives me that feeling of not being alone. So I will end this recap of week 3 with reading to you what she posted on her Instagram. Your 30s will show you just how much love, safety, and regulation you never received, and how badly you need to give it to yourself now. You look around and realize you're parenting yourself while managing a job, trying to love people, healing from things you didn't even know were trauma, and still be expected to have it all together. You're learning to validate your own emotions, soothe your own nervous system, break patterns your family normalized, show up for others without abandoning yourself. That's not self-care, that's re-parenting. You start to realize no one taught you emotional safety. No one modeled healthy boundaries. No one said you're allowed to feel this and I'll hold space for it. So now you have to learn it on your own. And let's be honest, it is lonely. Because doing work your parents never did. You're healing patterns your family still denies. You're becoming someone they never modeled. That's why you're exhausted. You're learning how to hold the child and lead the adult. That's sacred and not easy. You're not broke. You're not behind. You're doing what no one ever did for you. You're making your inner world a safe place to land. That's not weakness. That's strength most people will never understand. So yeah, that kept me going this week. I love you very much. And I'm curious what week 4 will bring me.